Empowerment Minutes podcast, where you delve into learning, leadership, coaching, and personal growth. This is Dr. Maurine Kwende, your podcast host. I'm also a learning leader, faculty, researcher, speaker, coach, consultant, and author. I'm passionate about empowering leaders to reach their full potential. And I do this through my podcast, my DBB Academy, research, teaching books, social media channels, and newsletter. You can learn more about me at maurinekwende.com or reach out to me via email if you have any questions at info@emklearningsolutions.com. So we're less than 6 weeks away from the end of the year. And most of us are working on the final goals for the year. Well, I am, and I'm hoping you are also. And also planning towards our 2024 goals. We want to be able to make our dreams a reality. And so we know that even though we have all those in place, there could be distractions, right, that often stand between us and the realization of our dreams. So to help us be intentional about reaching our goals, today's episode is about productivity, a vital tool in achieving our aspirations. Productivity isn't really about doing more. It's really about achieving what truly matters efficiently and effectively. So, did you know that there are several components of productivity? If you didn't know, you're about to find out. Let's embark on a journey into the core components and strategies to boost productivity. So let's get started. Now, when it comes to productivity, many people assume, like I mentioned, that productivity is just about staying busy. You got to be busy to be productive. Actually, it's more than just staying busy. It's about being effective. It really involves doing the right things at the right time, maximizing output with minimum input. Productivity is like a compass that guides us towards our goals. It's like going somewhere without the direction. Then how are you going to get to your destination? It guides you to where, to about reaching your goals. So there are so many components of productivity, right? First off, you want to be able to have a strategy, which we already talked about. It's about, effectively planning, setting your clear goals, establishing priorities, and then creating this roadmap to achieve your objectives. So, for example, you want to set SMART goals. I'm not sure if you know about SMART goals, but SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So your goals have to be SMART goals, right? So once you have your strategy in place, then what do you do? What's the next component of productivity? Of course, it's time management, right? And slash prioritization. Really, many people believe time management is about managing the number of hours we have in a day, which really isn't the case because we cannot have more than 24 hours, right? No matter how much you manage your time cannot grow from 24 to 36 hours. So it's really about prioritizing tasks, right, based on the importance and urgency. So this ensures that your focus is on the high impact activities. An example is, what you heard about the 20-80 rule, the Pareto principle as well, where you do the most important task first down the list. So you write down the list of what you want to work on, and then you tackle the most important first, and then when you have more time, you can tackle the least important, or you can, carry that forward to the next day when you're going to be working on the task. Now, we've talked about time management or prioritization. How about focus? Oh my gosh, this is a huge one, being able to pay attention. Most people don't understand or underestimate the power of focus. I personally, it's something I had to be really intentional about. Focus is really crucial. It's about dedicating your time to one task at a given time, reducing every distraction as much as possible so that you can be more efficient and effective. These days there's so many distractions, maybe social media. Have you taken the time to log in how you spend your day. You'll be surprised, especially those people who want to be on social media. You'll be surprised about the number of time you spend on just scrolling your LinkedIn page, scrolling on your Facebook page and all that. Spending so much time on calls that you could have attended to at the end of the day after reaching your goals. If you are not focused, you cannot achieve much. Many successful people, even I've read their biographies, I've learned that focus is it for them. It's about really being focused. So today, as you listen to this podcast, you want to ask yourself, how focused are you? Do you want to take some time to journal your focus daily and see if you want to make some adjustments? You'll be surprised what you might find, and so you can be more intentional about your focus. So, what are some things that you can do then, right? So maybe you can use the Pomodoro technique where you work on focused intervals with breaks. So maybe you work for 45 minutes and then you take a 15 minutes break, or you work for 2 hours and then you take a 15 minutes break. Whichever structure works for you. Some people do time blocking as well, where the block specific time for important tasks, such as planning or focused work. They can even do the color coding on their calendar as well. Those are some techniques you might want to consider to help you to focus. Now, another one that most people underestimate also is energy management, right? Which really involves optimizing your energy levels, where you can maintain your peak performance and productivity. So I'm not sure if you've heard about flow. I read a book earlier this year titled Ikigai, and this is where I really got familiar with the idea of flow, where you're going to be able to find a time in a day where you can get into your zone, right? Your energy is there, and then so you can do deep, meaningful work. So when I read this book, to me, I could relate it to a book that I read. It's one of my best books, actually, on productivity. It's called Deep Work by Cal Newport. It really helps you to focus and do work with least interruptions, right? There's so many interruptions these days. What is it that you can do to still focus and get most productive? Now, the last component I'm going to talk about today, of course, you all know, which is the foundation of productivity, is consistency, yes. Which consistency really involves diligent and persistent work. This is really forming the foundation of productivity. Like I mentioned, what we do repeatedly is who we are. So we are what we repeatedly do, says John Maxwell, a leadership expert. Consistency is where really our habits are formed, the good habits that would help you to be more productive. So today, I would like to just remind you that productivity is the compass that guides us towards our goals. So when we understand the components of strategy, focus, productivity, consistency, time and energy management, maximizing workflow, we pave the way for efficiency. So utilizing these strategies such as prioritization, time blocking, Pomodoro technique, effective goal setting, it really helps us amplify our productivity. So if you have been struggling with productivity, I hope you have learned a thing or two about productivity. And remember that productivity is not an end goal. It's an ongoing journey towards achieving our dreams efficiently and effectively. So thank you for joining us on the Empowerment Minutes podcast today. If you found these insights valuable, please subscribe or share the episode with your friend and fellow dream achievers. Until next time, this is Dr. Maurine Kwende signing off. Have a blessed day.